Hello, governors. El Travis Torello.
No.
Welcome to We Are Live, mate.
Yeah. Get one more button done here.
Oh, let me see that again.
Little.
Let me see. All right. Leave it like that. Leave it like that.
No.
No. We want chest.
Morning, everybody. It's Chris Dem and Travis Terrell. It's We Are Live. Thanks for tuning on YouTube, Facebook, whatever you're doing. Share it. Tell some people. Let's rock this out. Big day today. Travis Terrell, you've got your Blacks and Blues t-shirt on.
Woo!
Thanks to By Jack, 10 feet behind us. We're at Midcoast Studio in Grand Center. It's comedy night tonight. We'll tell you more about that in a bit. First, let's say hi to Christopher Gardner.
Good morning, gentlemen. What's that? What are you doing? Why aren't all your fingers used when you're waving?
Because
That's how he says hello in a German bar.
They're like flopping. Why are your fingers flopping?
I have floppy fingers, if you know what I mean, ladies. Ugh.
Let me just say good morning to the
There we
walnuts.
go. Put the nuts in the wall.
There you go. What's with the scarf all the time now, Travis?
It's my thing. It's my look.
The scarf.
It's part of my brand.
You know, that's a John Mozeliak look. Cardinals president of baseball operations.
Thank you. Maybe I can be a president of an operations one day.
Is this where we just tell you that you can be to give you hope?
Can I, though?
No, you can't.
Oh.
No. For a variety of reasons.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Are you jealous of the guy who talked to Jordan Bennington on the highway and then got to go to a
man.
hockey game? Is that why you're wearing Blacks and Blues today?
I just feel
That
like
was awesome.
everybody else seems to be going viral on accident. And when I try to go viral on purpose,
Yeah.
it's not working.
Man, I was like, man, Blacks and Blues, the whole city will get behind it.
No.
And then, like, I don't get it.
But this Negro jump out of his car on Hampton.
It's 40. Bennington called it 64. I'm like, bro, come
Bro,
on.
grow up Canadian.
You're not from here.
Why don't you go over to Gravois,
Yeah.
loser?
Idiot.
So you seem a little jealous.
I'm a little bit perturbed.
Jealous is another word I would use.
Okay. Good for that young man. Good for Tony X.
Oh, boy, I'm noticing a trend here. I'm guessing you hate Jamal Mayers. Grant Fuhrer just didn't do it for you.
It's those
Fred Brathwaite.
You're glad Ryan Reeves got traded.
I just think it's fascinating that as an international screenwriter, a former Brooklynite,
Former now.
a purveyor of New York.
See, I thought you were vacationing in St. Louis as a Brooklynite.
This is technically my fellowship. Like Midcoast Media is my fellowship.
Oh.
But my home and where I have resided in spirit for many years is in New York.
Many years?
Many years. Many years.
And when did you first go there and visit it physically?
In a physical sense?
Physical
because
sense.
it's never left me.
Yeah.
But in the physical sense this year.
Oh,
Only because my spirit levels were low and they needed to be recharged. And they were in my native town of New York.
native?
Native town.
You were born there?
Spiritually, I was.
Spiritually
I just
born.
know it. I just know, like, when my spirit arrived in New York, it was like, baby, where you been?
Mm-hmm.
Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you. And that's how I felt about New York. And that's how New York felt about me.
I think that's accurate. I can't really argue that.
So I miss you. I miss you, NYC.
Is it dead?
No, it's a big
Put that back in the
Something.
pocket.
All right.
You did that to Bobby Caldwell, I
did,
believe, too.
and that was not right. The Caldwell estate reached out.
They were upset.
Not happy.
What'd they say to you?
Well, they said technically he doesn't have an estate because he's still alive, so he hasn't really established one yet. It was just this manager, and it was like, hey, chill out.
Okay.
My bad.
All right.
I get
That's on
carried
you.
away.
That's on you.
I'm happy to see you guys this morning, though,
Why?
because
There's motivation.
it's 60 degrees. It's almost 60
And
degrees
he
out.
found some kind of government grant that if he takes a picture with two schlubby white guys, he gets money for writing or something. There's
just-
always a motivation.
Just happy to see you guys. I don't have the social medias anymore, so when I see you guys, I feel like, oh, they're gonna keep me up to date. What's going on in the know? You guys have your finger on the pulse of pop culture.
Yeah.
So I just love coming in and hearing what's been going on in the world.
Oh. You've paid no attention at all.
I know nothing. You know, I walk amongst my people. I told you about that human connection.
Yeah.
I've been trying
Oh,
to.
there was almost a human connection on the bus yesterday.
Oh boy, please tell us.
Oh, let's start the show off with
that's-
bus stories.
There he is.
Yeah.
All right, let me get settled here, because
And this is,
you better
Ooh.
believe I want to hear all about this.
And
It
this
was
is
All right.
something.
This
Okay.
is why you can see us hanging out at Sophie's tonight. It's all because of content like this.
Uh-huh.
We get to provide stand-up comedy free each week.
And here's the cool thing about Gardner. He doesn't need to write material. His life is material. So you can just get on stage and just tell people what you did between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 a.m.
I should do a bus blog.
Is this what it's like, just being clear and sober all the time? Like, is this happening
It
to
does.
us
It's-
and we just don't realize
And
it?
it does look,
crazy.
I'm not going to lie, it looks mildly happy.
What?
Your life currently looks fairly satisfied.
I mean, I'm okay.
Maybe I just
could be
missed it, but
better.
it seems to me you guys haven't spent a lot of time talking about this coming Sunday's Grey Cup. Who you got, Riders or Ticats? Yale Hollander.
Rough Riders?
Got to.
Is there 2 Rough Riders in the CFL? Is that
Also,
how it is?
what a way to
Talking about
pay
the Roosevelt
homage. Yeah, I'm
Rough
about to say,
Riders?
yeah, what a way to pay homage to the American president.
Blue Bomber. Oh, he means Blue Bombers or Ticats.
Oh, Blue Bombers.
So it's not the Rough Riders.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll go Blue Bombers.
who knows? Sorry, I
Um,
got distracted. I saw Grey Cup and got excited.
But I get more excited when I hear about bus stories. Please, go on. And
Um,
yes, you should do a bus blog. I really wish you would.
Live
I might
blogging.
consider it. So I left the office for a moment yesterday and came back down to finish up work before I walked over to the Billikens game last night. Sat by Frank again.
Hey, Kusamato.
Use the press pass that states Red Panda Fan Club
Yes,
is
correct.
your media organization.
Correct.
Fascinating.
Not wrong. So I on my way back down, because I ran home because I didn't have hot water yesterday morning,
Okay.
so I did like a just a Irish shower. type
Pop,
of-
pop, 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 pop,
Yeah.
and then out the door again.
So then I went home just to shower completely.
Okay.
Because the hot water got fixed. And on my way back, the bus was a
How do you shower?
Me?
Yeah, water's hitting you. You up here.
I've told you about I have processes, correct? Are you
Correct,
sure you
that's
want-
why-
Are you want
no,
this?
no,
Do
no.
you
Let's
want
get to the
this?
story. I want the story.
Like
I came here for
Travis,
the story.
Travis, it starts here. It's like, dun-dun, dun-dun,
Oh, I know.
dun-dun.
And then he has a reasoning behind it too. He's
Wait,
like,
and then it's-
Merle Haggard's birthday was in '89, and I got to twist it 89 times. And
Well, I pat my right shoulder, then my left, and then my here, and then it's.
There's no more counting. I used to count. So
oh God,
I've gotten rid of some of
all
that.
right, we'll jump back to
Yeah,
the bus
okay.
story. So you shower.
Okay, so the bus is a little crowded at this time, and I'm going in this. This guy and this lady get on, and
Yeah, they do.
they sit behind me, and I could smell that they've. I know what it smells like. They've had fun during the day, little matinee drinking.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my kinda
I was
party.
like,
So
they
they're
smelled
fine,
like
but they're
sex, like,
fine.
Gross.
And then they start having a conversation behind me, and it's getting a little sexual in nature. And she starts talking about
How sexual?
tossing salad,
Oh no.
and I'm just
Like factually, or like as a
and then
a
she
potential
says,
thing?
and he's like, I do it, and then she's like, and I won't say what she said, but she's like, that's what F's do, in a derogatory term for gay people.
Oh wow.
And so I'm just sitting here, I'm like, what is going
Oh
on here?
no.
And then I kind of zoned out for a little bit.
Oh no.
And as I come out of my zone, I hear they're having a little disagreement. And he said, well, if I'd known you were going to be like this, I just would have stayed home and jerked off all day. And so I'm like, oh, this is going interesting. So I'm just kind of eavesdropping a little bit.
My. What time in the morning
But-
is this?
Though this is in the afternoon.
Oh, good. All right. Whew.
And now this guy gets on the bus. Maybe he had gotten on like a stop before them. But a bigger fella, sweatshirt, sweatpants, and he's big, and so he was gonna sit up front, like where normally a handicap is.
Okay.
And a lady was already sitting there, and he just kind of was gonna sit next to her, and he's like, "Mind if I sit here?" And she didn't kind of move at first, and then he just plopped down and like rubs on her. It's like, can you scoot over a little bit? And then so I'm watching this interaction.
Oh, fascinating.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know how this is going to go. They seem to be okay, but the guy seemed a little creepy. And he was.
Oh, no.
Because this lady had gotten off eventually. And a girl.
Wait, on the bus she did?
Not like that.
Oh, sorry.
She left the bus.
Got it.
But I understand, though, with what was the conversation going on behind me.
Absolutely.
The tossing and whatnot.
So this girl gets on the bus, and she's younger, and she's probably 14, 15, I'm guessing.
Okay.
And she sits down next to this guy, and he just goes right away, how old are you?
Oh, no.
And I looked over,
Oh,
and
no.
then I looked around at other people to see how they reacted, and I saw like 2 or 3 other people also looking at the guy.
Like, excuse me?
So it was kind of like, all right, if this continues, someone's going to have to say something. We don't know who it's going to be, but someone's going to, and I didn't want to be the person that have to do this.
It was almost as if you all spiritually conversed and
Yes,
said, it's
okay.
going to come to a point, and one of us is going to have to do it, but one of
Right.
us is going to
And-
have to
and
do it.
Actually, I thought that my move probably wouldn't have been to say anything to the guy,
Okay.
but it would have been to say to the girl, would you like to change seats?
Now that's a good move.
So then I
That's a good
avoid
move.
him,
Good play. Good
and
play.
then
I like the
just-
way you thought this out, Gardner.
and then just sit next to him and be like, mm-mm.
I see you.
And
I like that,
nothing
Gardner.
was going to happen. Like,
Sure.
I'm not going to fight or anything on a bus. Now, that would have been a story.
Nah,
Maybe
that
we'll
would've
get there
been.
someday.
No.
See, you go Greek style,
Just
and
get-
then you get arrested because
Because
It's
the
gonna be a
14-year-old
great
girl's on the bus
story.
and he get
Right.
butt naked.
Yeah.
That's a good
When
point.
I get my ass kicked on the bus one day, it's going to be such a great
It's gonna
story.
be what I think
good for
putting us
content.
over the top. Exactly.
So, like, I think that would have been my move. That's what I was thinking. Or this is all happening pretty quick.
right.
And then he just kind of looks at her still, and she doesn't say anything to him. And he goes, how old are you? And then it was kind of like, all right, do we
Uh-oh,
go?
here
What
we
do we do
go.
now? And so it's
Uh-oh.
kind of time.
Ordinary DEFCON 1.
And the conversation that was going on behind me, the lady,
Uh-oh.
like I said, she had enough in her. And she goes, she just yells at the guy. And so I'm glad it was this lady.
So it was the lady who was wilding earlier.
Yeah.
Now comes to the
Behind
rescue.
me.
What did
so
she say?
I'm in between. She goes, what you doing talking to her? Leave her alone. He's like, I ain't talking to you. And she goes, stop being a pedophile.
Oh, wow.
And I'm
Oh,
like-
no,
and
no.
I was like,
as subtle
yep.
as a Tyler Perry script. Oh,
I
my.
was like, this is.
It is
yep.
on.
Oh, wow.
I'm
so she
glad-
didn't say stop being a creep,
Nope.
stop being a weirdo. She went to the very technical term,
Yeah.
pedophile.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
And so he's just getting upset a little bit.
Oh, boy. What is this? This show has really
and
picked
she
up. What a
just-
plot twist.
She just goes in and keeps yelling at him.
Oh.
And so, like, I'm in the middle of these two.
Oh.
And all I can do is smirk.
Oh,
I'm
this is
just sitting there
outstanding.
smirking because I'm like,
well, then the poor girl's still sitting there.
yeah, but she got up and just went.
To the other.
She went back. And
Okay.
then- so it was fine. She was out of the way.
Because she probably may have been feeling that same energy,
No,
but
yeah.
being
yeah.
a young girl, she's probably like, okay, I don't want to maybe upset him or cause a scene.
Right.
Like, so she was maybe kind of hoping someone did what you
Yeah,
did.
You just don't chat everyone up on
Right,
the bus. That's
right,
sit next to you.
right.
You just come on, be decent here. But I'm glad that it was this lady because she was not holding back.
Right.
So she had enough to drink to where it didn't
She
bother
didn't
her.
bother her.
to
She was just
go
going in.
So this was perfect, actually.
Right. So you getting a little bit of deal. You're helping the girl and you're getting your good dose of entertainment.
Right. And then he's like, I ain't talking, just leave it. And then she's like, well, then just stop acting like a pedo.
Oh.
Stop acting like a pedo.
Oh, man, I haven't heard pedo since the mid-90s.
And then eventually it just kind of dies down. And like she just wanted to keep antagonizing
Oh,
this guy at
my.
a point because he asked the bus driver, hey, can I get a free transfer? And she goes, oh, hell no. You can pay $1 for this one, and holds one up.
Oh, so now she's trying to sell the same man
Yeah,
she just called a
he's
pedophile
like,
a transfer.
Yeah, she's like, you're not getting this for free. You're not doing this. And
Oh, my
he's like,
gosh.
just whatever. And then he made the mistake.
Uh-oh.
Because she's with a gentleman, remember?
Right.
Gentleman's not saying anything.
Oh,
He's
no.
letting her do her thing.
Oh, no. Please don't tell me he responded with, what did he respond with?
What do you
Gardner?
think he responded with?
I would imagine, just from my time being around similar experiences, he said something along the lines of, bitch, shut up.
No,
Oh.
he didn't. He told the man to make sure his woman stays
Oh,
in her
no,
lane.
that's even worse.
And I was like, have you heard what she's been saying to you?
Oh,
In my
my.
mind. And you just said that. Like, I
This is
just like,
all, like
I think I audibly gasped because I was like, no, 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 no. Here's where I felt bad.
and this guy
'Cause-
could have just stayed home and jerked off.
Yeah, I
could've.
know. The one guy.
Wouldn't have been an
It-
issue for
that guy
anybody.
just started laughing, and he's like, "You think I'm gonna tell her what to do?" And then I started chuckling.
How old were the fellas?
The one guy who was the creep was probably in his mid-50s.
Pedo, definitely pedo.
And the other guy probably early 40s, mid-40s.
Yeah, definitely deadbeat.
So the problem was, like, I don't know how it all concluded because it was my next stop coming up, but it had died down just a little bit. So I felt bad in a way because I pulled the little
Should've
not the
stayed on
chain.
an extra stop.
That's I
Got
pulled the
exercise
wire.
in. The weather was
And
nice.
I didn't want. Here's the thing. I didn't want them to think I was, white boys getting off because he can't handle this
Right.
going on. I honestly would have liked to stayed on to
I
see
got
what
you,
had
I
happened,
got you.
but it was my stop
It was
coming
your
up.
Stop. You did have to go to work.
And so I'm getting off the bus. I'm like, man, I feel like, I felt like kind of soft, like they thought I was soft just because I didn't stay on the bus.
You didn't stay in the kitchen.
Oh, you can't handle
You
this?
couldn't handle the heat.
And so that bothered me a little bit,
Okay.
but it was fine. I had a cigarette and everything was good. But no, that's what happened on the bus yesterday.
It's a hell of a ride, and that's all in a span of 10 minutes.
Yep, that was probably less. What happened there particularly was less than 10 minutes.
That, I mean, you talk about content. That's a
That's a
That's a-
5. That
that's
was a
a
5-minute period, probably.
cold open and the first section of a sitcom.
He's very true. It's very true.
So hey, this just hit me again. We just bring the John Larroquette show back, like we had talked about,
Oh.
bus station in
Oh,
St.
boy.
Louis, and we have these bus stories to do it with.
Okay,
We've got it.
Yeah.
I think you figured it all out.
We just all have to take the bus from now on so that we can get content and write a show and have John Larroquette star in it.
Do you?
Oh, well, it's funny because I know a bus driver. That's weird.
You know a mad bus driver.
I know a mad bus driver. Are you telling me we're ready to pitch this? Oh, so okay, so
Something's happening here.
here we go. Yeah, you
This
sat up
is
here
magic.
the entire time. Your ass was, hey, now you want to be executive producer, don't you? I'll let you have the executive producer credit. There you go, man. You happy? There you go. You're welcome.
I'm gonna have to eat some. I'm gonna eat some
Yeah.
bus driving crow.
You're
on
going to eat
this.
some bus driving crow, but where are you going to eat it? You
When
eat
you
it in the
just
Hamptons.
said,
Yes.
Yes.
when you just said, I'll let you have the executive producer
let you
credit,
have it.
Chris's reaction was this.
Oh.
He had to do a long look
Oh.
away. There was so much going on in that.
Because we're riding on
Second
the
and a
bus.
No,
Riding
you ain't
on
doing
the
no.
bus.
No, man, you just a silent partner. You just sit in the back. You just reap the
Oh,
rewards.
it's that kind of producer
because-
thing?
Yeah, it's one of those.
I'm a
where I'm
producer.
yeah.
Like, here's your mailbox check. Leave us
Exactly,
alone.
exactly.
Creatively.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And that's all you want anyway. You don't want anything to do with it.
I'd really just kind of like solitude. Maybe a cabin in Wyoming
See?
next to Kanye's.
Oh, that's
new
not
fortress.
getting weird.
Kanye's in Wyoming?
He's trying to build a fortress. He's amphitheater
In Wyoming?
in Wyoming. You know, he's kind of
you
relocated
imagine?
there. That's kind of his
Did you
getaway place. It's New Calabasas.
Did you see?
That's where a lot of white folk go.
Exactly.
Did you
That's
see
why he's there.
Wild Wild Country on Netflix?
I haven't seen all of it.
Okay. Well, it's essentially.
The Kanye West story?
Well, I'm
He's
just.
that
it would
guy?
be. No, be true.
Yeah.
He'll turn into that guy, but it's the same thing. Can you imagine being some farmer with a, I don't know, a 3-bedroom ranch home that you got given down to you from your parents or whatever else, and it's just been quiet, and you just kind of basically take care of cows on this land, and then all of a sudden, you have the Kanye West experience moving into 2,000 acres next to you. That would be. He could take over a town.
Are they trying to do a reality show?
Yeah.
Is that what's going on? Is this Kim's new idea?
I don't know. With Kanye, sometimes
that
I feel like everything is publicity to him. I think like just every blink, every breath, every bite of food he eats is just nothing but a publicity stunt. This guy, I mean, look, it works. Hey, when you're a celebrity, you're a brand, okay. But it's just, I don't know. He's in a whole nother stratosphere right now. I hope he's okay. That's all I can say. I hope he's doing okay.
You could argue he's not.
You can make a legitimate
Well, I'm
argument.
I'm not a doctor, so I can't sit up here and like, just from looking
Has
at
that
TV.
stopped you before?
No, it has not. I'm just doing my best trying to be
give out
reasonable,
diagnoses
Gardner. I'm
left
just trying
and right.
something new. It feels weird. Just trying on these reasonable jeans. How did it sound?
Reasonable.
Okay.
Okay, there it is. You know what else is reasonable?
And
Gateway
phony.
powder coating. Gateway powder coating is not phony, but they are reasonable. GatewayPowderCoat.com for more information. If you've got furniture, maybe you want Kanye to stop by, enjoy your patio. Needs to look good, doesn't it?
Damn right.
Yeah, Gateway Powder Coating. GatewayPowderCoat.com for the number one resource for powder coating in the Midwest. Happy Thursday, everybody, from Gateway Powder Coating. So congrats on the great bus story, Gardner.
Thank you.
We have...
Great ride.
What's that?
It was a great ride.
I don't know why I'm doing this, and I'm just going to like swallow a grenade here.
Oh boy, I like the way those sentences started.
Maybe I could put a time limit on it in 30 seconds or less. Can you guys catch me up what's happening with your President Donnie?
The cancelment inquiry.
Yesterday, some
I'm genuinely confused as to progress, actions being taken, because everything that gets thrown out there online, Travis, I know you're not part of the Twitterverse right now, but everything's like, there's the death blow, and then they just come back for another day. What's going on?
Yeah, I think yesterday everybody wanted to declare that Sondland's testimony was the John Dean moment.
Who's Sondland?
Sondland is the EU ambassador.
Okay.
Now, when I say John Dean, of course, the moment, I believe he was the counsel for Nixon, and he got in front of Congress and was like, yeah, I was absolutely instructed by the President of the United States to do A, B, and C. So directly connecting the president to potential crimes. So yesterday, I want to be clear, so I don't want to, because my paraphrasing when it comes to this entire story can kind of get away from me.
He just said there was a quid pro quo, and it was on the direction of the president.
Yeah, Sondland said that there was a clear demand from the president for Ukraine
Yeah.
to announce an investigation into the dealings of former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter in exchange for a White House meeting between Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. And according to Sondland, a number of officials, including the Secretary of State, Trump's personal attorney Rudy Giuliani, pressured Ukraine to investigate Democrats because the president directed us to do so. That's what he said in his opening statements. So he's connecting the dots. He's saying that I can say that I felt pressured from these entities to pursue this Ukraine investigation, get them to announce investigations in return for the president releasing the $430+ million Congress
aid.
had allocated for foreign aid.
That was
So
valid.
that's your quid pro quo. So that's where we stand right now.
When does Travis start screaming?
No, there's no screaming involved. I think to your point though, I don't know what a death blow is
No, but
because
that's all you see, and I'm just like,
at the end of the
what?
day, I think one reality that even his detractors reached a long time ago, they don't have the math. So it's not a matter of removing the president. I think
He will be impeached.
he will be impeached.
Yes, that's clear now.
But that's very clear that they're going to move forward. It will be a Senate trial. However,
Now, impeached, people confused with like that means it doesn't mean you're out.
yeah, it doesn't mean
means-
you're out.
it
That means there's a trial
process,
setting,
right?
and I believe the Chief Justice presides over the proceedings. You present it like a legal case, from what I understand it, and you vote whether or not, based on the evidence that's all been presented, whether or not to remove the President of the United States from office. And obviously, the Republicans control the Senate. Therefore, the likelihood of the Democrats all one voting to remove him and flipping, I think, 5, potentially 6 votes, 5 votes at least, insurmountable, especially going into an election
Which is
year.
why, like, and this is how it happened with Watergate, is you try not to get to that point, and you just have to, hey, you got to just resign.
Now, if the goal for the Democrats is to remove Donald Trump, which is still, I'm not sure if it is, but if it is, to Gardner's point, you're right. You got to make this so much pressure where it just is too embarrassing for Republicans, where they then lean on this White House
Because they
to
know they have
say-
to go on record.
Yeah,
with
but
it
at this
But it
point,
shouldn't be about being embarrassed. It should be about what's
That's
legal.
fair.
right?
That's
but
a very
I
fair
don't.
point.
You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. But you are also
I mean
talking
that
about
for
American.
everyone,
No,
though.
absolutely. But this
Yeah.
is American politics, and American politics doesn't behave. Our judicial system doesn't even behave
Speaking
in a
of
proper
reasonable,
manner.
that's
but
a
certainly
very
our
reasonable
politics.
point, Chris.
It's my goddamn middle name.
Yeah.
That's what the
Reasonable.
that's what the R's for up here.
In
So-
R?
Reasonable.
Christopher-
Reasonable Denman. Not Ryan.
So I
It
think
also-
I don't think we're going to. We're going to get to the Senate trial, but I don't see a situation right now that would suggest that 4 to 5 Senate Republicans would flip on this president. But again, I ain't inside the
Well,
beltway,
where'd you
so
hear
maybe
that? Did you watch that on
I
Mad Al
didn't.
last night?
No, I didn't watch it on anything. That this is just my assessment, personal assessment based on what I've seen.
Did you watch that on Hardball?
I did not.
Chris Cuomo?
And I've kind of avoided
Don
that for that
Lemon?
reason. One of the reasons I wanted to kind of leave, because I did want to. I
What'd
kind
you
of.
say Sam Lyons look like?
What's that?
What'd you say Sam Lyons look like?
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon side chick.
Sam Lyons will be in at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Damn it! Kick my ass. But no, I don't know. I don't know what else could come out that would convince even the most moderate of Republicans. Now, we did see Ken Starr, of all people, surprisingly say this was a big right. And so, again, take that with a grain of salt. Mr. Monica Lewinsky / Baylor,
Yeah.
he was a part of the Baylor situation a few years ago. Let's just say
Who
that.
did the Star Report? Or when was the Star Report out? Like, am I thinking that wasn't?
That was the 99, 98,
You're
99?
thinking of the free report.
No,
No.
the Star Report was available on PDF on the internet.
Yeah, you
right?
can get that on the
I
internet.
want to say
like kids would
we
go to where you would hear
downloaded it or
things and
something.
you see
Yeah.
the things the president allegedly had said.
I
and
guess, yeah. It was
but
like
Ken
a
Starr wrote that. And
66-page thing or longer. I don't know.
Was it
so I like
erotic?
it.
Huh?
Was it erotic?
I don't remember. I do remember people downloading it, though,
Okay.
because it was, 56K dial-up would have been blazing fast at that time. So, yeah.
Who's got the
Now-
AOL CD?
Mhm.
Now, this could get interesting if the courts ultimately enforce some additional subpoenas of higher up officials. Now, that's where I think things will get, as I've said before, a spice and meatball, because you guys have like the president's acting chief of staff and potentially Secretary of State Pompeo having
And-
to go under oath in front of Democrats.
And there's no
to-
way that if they don't testify, it obviously will be obstruction.
It'll be
now.
obstruction, so
Because
then you have
there's-
another
because
count
they've
to
been
add
connected
for-
already.
Yes.
So now that they've been connected, there's no reason for them
Right.
not to testify, and it just adds another one to it if it doesn't happen.
So
I don't see how the courts
Don't
don't
enforce the subpoena.
enforce
Yeah,
it.
they're
now.
gonna, and it's
I mean,
very
it's just-
likely
there's
that they
so
will.
much there now that it's just like, but we already knew all this. Really.
Yeah, and what Trump will naturally do, he will try to appeal as long as he can to prolong the impeachment inquiry and the impeachment process, because he knows the longer it also goes, the more tiring it becomes for the American public, and they lose interest, and therefore the Democrats start to lose momentum of their own. So that's kind of where we are in regards to strategy. The Democrats feel that the judge will ultimately rule, forcing some of these guys like Pompeo and Mulvaney to testify. The big dogs almost directly connected to the pressure on Ukraine. And Donald Trump just hoping I can delay long enough to the point where either somebody tries to find dirt on the whistleblower to create a new narrative, or just stretch this thing long enough just so the American people can get tired of it. Right now, they're in and just based on recent polling, America's still like, let's hear just a little bit more. And I think they will hang on and listen a little bit longer.
Gardner, one sentence. What's the conclusion of all this?
Chaos.
There it is. He's right.
It
That's the best way
yesterday
to
did
describe it,
provide
yeah.
quite a photo.
Oh, boy.
This
Yeah.
is
Oh,
Gordon
my.
Sondland.
Look at that.
Oh, no, that's not Gordon Sondland. That's Gordy Sondland.
Did I tell you that Donald Trump fought it too? Because he did.
What's Joseph Gordon-Levitt doing there in the background? Looking like he just walked off the set of damn it, what's the quirkity he did with the girl? Oh, hey. What's that movie?
Hey,
500 Days of
Don't
Summer.
be an ass.
He just walked off the set of 500 Days of
Steve's
Summer.
looking for his notebook, but when he gets down there, he's gonna smell something.
Oh gosh, I didn't see that guy down there. That's a bald head.
I like. It's just a.
I love the new narrative. The guy who gave almost what was the dollar amount he gave to the Donald Trump?
1 million.
About close to 1 million. 1 million exactly. I love that he was like, well, Sondland worked with Democrats. Like, gave $1 million to a man's inauguration campaign. You can't. What? He's now a
I
Democrat
saw
now?
someone tweet yesterday that because one of the questions Mr. Sondland, do you know what or Ambassador Sondland, do you know what a quid pro quo is? And they're like, this is the person that's, and then person who donated $1 million to Trump campaign to get ambassadorship. Yes.
Nailed it.
I was like,
Is that what that naughty face was about? Is
Yeah,
that
he's like,
quid pro quo.
quid pro quo. How you think I got this motherfucking job?
He's like, Trump actually made me get it tattooed on my wrist. Oh,
Now that's a great. Now was that a tweet?
yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I
that's really
can't
fucking
remember who
brilliant.
did it.
That's
it
really
was
good.
funny though.
That's really
It
really
broke it
good.
down very simply.
That
It
was
was like
that.
yep,
In a nutshell,
yep.
you're exactly right, Gardner. You really did.
Really
he was
nice.
like, well, there was no quid pro quo. Says the guy who got a job from a quid pro quo. Like it's almost too obvious.
He understands what it is. And he said
Ugh.
yes, and then he said there was one. So I
Ugh.
Yeah. So yeah, it makes sense. It made me think of a picture in a different way. I saw a picture recently at the Billikens game in Chaffetz Arena. Travis, I believe I've shown this to you.
Yes, you did.
And I don't know why.
Let Chris. I want Chris's thoughts on this.
I don't know why.
Just look at the photo. And it's nothing in particular, but just look at it.
Here's the photo. It's a photo that's in one of the media areas. It's of the Slunatics, their student section.
it's lunatics?
The Slunatics.
Have I ever heard that?
I don't know.
I don't know if I have.
I don't
Really?
think I've ever heard of it either.
Lunatics?
Lunatics.
That's pretty funny.
That is good.
So here's the student section, and I was looking at this, and I don't know why, but I just was staring at it for a minute, and then something caught my eye, and I just started laughing. And if you look at the photo number one,
Chris, you see it?
what do you notice?
Chris, you see it?
Think of
A lot of redheaded people.
Okay.
There's a face in the top right that I can't make out.
okay,
Like a fat head looking
Yeah.
thing.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
fair.
that's Dr. Chaffetz actually.
Okay.
Likes to sit courtside.
I mean,
Okay.
it's all
Right.
I mean,
So I looked.
99% Caucasian.
Yeah,
Oh.
it is basically 99%
You kinda hit the
Caucasian.
nail
That's
on the
that's
head.
a good percentage to guess at because as I was staring
There's
at
a
this
lot of
photo,
redheads.
I'm going to zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
I started to notice in the middle of the photo,
Mm-hmm.
there's only one
Mm-hmm.
person,
Mm-hmm.
and there aren't people around him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the
that's
only one there
Mm-hmm.
in all of the photo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, who is this guy?
Who is this gentleman? Whose dad is this?
Why is he sitting there? Why is no one around him? And why is every other person literally white around
So
him?
what happened? Somebody sold him a student section ticket, and they was like, "Man, fuck it. It's who were the SLU playing that night?
Bemidji State.
Yeah, it
Played
wasn't
High
anybody-
Point last
right?
night.
Yeah, so they probably were like, "Man, ain't nobody gonna give you a hassle. You ain't got a student ID, whatever. Just go ahead and sit amongst the students."
Yeah.
And boom, he is sitting amongst the students.
I love
now
that.
that redhead behind him, kind of judging the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
She's staring down at everybody else like it's all good,
like, "Is
ain't no
that real
big deal.
fur?"
Right? She's like, "Ooh, he do got a nice head though."
But it just caught my eye because I'm like looking at the photo. I'm like, man, that is white. And I'm like, who's that?
Hey,
And
you
I'm
know what makes it
That's
even
hilarious.
more whiter? That girl's shirt, SLU water polo.
like, there's a lot going on
There's
here.
a lot of whiteness going on. You got a lot of kids who you know are underage or drinking beer. No, you can't tell me that guy. And he's wearing a North Face, of course. Right there, lower screen.
Who are you, gentleman? Why are you sitting there? Where do you, look at the face.
Look
too.
at the face.
Stoic, looking up off into the distance.
But that's a man that lives life. Because who goes to a SLU basketball? What day was this? Like on a Tuesday?
How do you know he
Well,
wasn't
this-
there
this
with his
photo-
kids and they're just grabbing popcorn?
Yeah, I don't know when this
point.
photo was
Good
taken.
point. Good point.
This is actually a photo that's hanging on a wall
Oh, okay.
in the media area.
Okay.
So that's part of it.
Well,
But
good for him. Good for him, man.
Pretty funny.
That's
I
hilarious.
noticed it, and was like, there it is,
Mm.
in its full form. I kind of want to get it framed now.
That is pretty beautiful. We
Like
should get it for the office. Let's get it for the office.
I want to get like
Somebody's
a
going to come in
filter.
and be like, why do you have this photo of my
Yeah.
uncle?
Can I talk to him? I need to know the oral history of this game and how he ended up with this seat.
Yeah. I mean, that'll happen. Have you ever been, you ever had the okey doke by a scalper?
Not okey doke, but I did buy
have
someone's
not.
tickets. I had a similar. I don't know if that was the situation, but I did buy student tickets by accident.
Yeah. You're in between somebody with a tuba
Right.
and their shirt off. Like
Oh,
that.
what Mizzou did though, they did allow me to exchange it for some other tickets. So they were just like, "Oh yes, I bought student tickets." Like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll just give you another set of tickets for a similar value, and deal's a
That
deal."
was
And I was like,
that.
"Oh yeah."
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've scalped before, but I've never had.
You haven't gotten the okey doke?
I've never gotten
No.
the okey doke. I've never gotten, knock on wood, but I've never gotten.
I
The
remember when
okey-doke.
I used to do Cardinal game scalping. Like I think one of the keys I would tell people is always keep your money separated, because if you're gonna pull out like a
that
20,
much about the money, yeah.
say I need a ticket and I'm only willing to spend $20, you keep the money that you're only willing to spend separate from the rest of it, because then you don't need to be flipping through
Flipping the
money.
in front of people in public, people
Yeah,
walking
it's
by.
just like, well,
That's a
or
bad
you could
look.
just, this is what I got, this is what I'm willing to spend, I can't go past this, and then I think it helps you some,
Hmm.
but yeah, never keep that money together. And once you get in, you don't know where you're going to end up anyway. If you know how to sneak by the ushers properly, you just end up down below.
Just look them in the eye and look confident.
Yeah, that's one way.
That
We
doesn't
used to run a
work.
distraction move.
It's
when I
easy.
was younger.
Oh, at Old Bush it used to be easier.
Old Bush was fun.
Old Bush was very easy. It was a lot of fun. You're right. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I just had to get one person down.
Yeah.
And if you got one person down, they could run distraction on someone, and
Yeah.
the rest of the group could
Yeah.
get by.
Yeah.
Did you guys, did you ever pull the thing at the Old Bush where you have to look old enough. You can't be like baby-faced 14. But I'm thinking I was like 17 or 18, grabbed the empty souvenir cup that you found and go up to the beer line and go, take another one of these?
My friends did it, but I was too scary to do it. I
That's
was
a
too
nice
scared
move.
to do it. But that is, I've seen my friends do that move, and I just
I
been
hear
like,
it worked.
oh boy, I miss those. You know, I would love
And
to
I
see
hear
like
that
a
we got asked to stop screaming obscenities at the opposing team.
yeah
On an
as a
August summer day.
As a kid, I learned
hear?
quickly heckling.
Here.
Like when we heckled, like we would.
It was mean.
We weren't mean. We were just smartasses about it. Like we weren't trying to we weren't saying things vulgar. We were just trying to, what stupid 12-year-olds say
Oh,
without
okay.
getting
Yeah.
caught.
12-year-olds.
saying-
Were you with your parents?
No, like I said, we used to play.
Oh.
We used to.
My dad would. I would never huckle in front of my dad.
We went to school not far from here. A lot of the junior high I went to was literally about a couple blocks from here, and we would catch the bus if like we had a half day,
Yeah.
and we would go to if
And
the
that's the
Cardinals
bus
had a
that
day
took you
game.
out to Parkway?
No, that's
Oh.
a whole nother story.
Different one.
Yeah, but when I was younger, we would go to the day games if we had a half day and they fell on the same day, and our parents at that time were like, "All right, we trust you enough," and so we would go to Cardinals games in the middle of the day during the week.
Yeah,
And
but
it
go-
was, and we would go like I said, wouldn't be a ton of people there, so we would do what you suggested, like we would maneuver over innings down behind the dugout.
Oh,
Oh no!
I'm good.
Oh no, maneuver! Where the hell you been?
I'm tired.
Oh, what you tired of, baby girl? What you?
School.
School just started a couple of months. How's it going in school, maneuver?
Days are short.
Oh yeah, well, you sound like you're going through something emotional. Is everything okay?
What's up with that shirt?
Oh come on, it's Blacks and Blues. Don't you want to be a part of the Blacks and Blues? You're black.
Blacks and who?
Blacks and Blues, the St. Louis Blues, the Stanley Cup champions. Don't you like hockey?
BB King looking motherfucker.
Okay, maneuver. I tried to give you a chance.
Bye.
All right, thank you, maneuver.
That was so much. As soon as you said it, it was like
Gardner and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
we made eye contact, and,
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
and I just sit back and I resigned to the fact of what was about to occur, and what am I supposed to do?
Fuck you.
Oh, thank you.
Huh?
Thank you, maneuver.
Tonight, Sophie's 3224 Locust
That's a thing.
Zach building. That's our building. Check it out. We're doing comedy tonight, 6 o'clock kickoff. Special start at 4. Our friend Molly Ambergy is going to open up the show. We've got Brian Valencia coming in from out of town, and Charlie Winfrey. He's a headliner, and he's closing it out.
Chris.
Jack Daniels specials, Schlafly specials. Join us. It's going to be a blast. It's free. Sophie's got
Not Jim, not John, but Jack.
Is that how you're doing that now?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's my thing now. Guys, we talked about this before. We've had several conversations so far this year about this particular item. It was part of Target Practice Live. Popeyes continues.
It's still going on.
It continues to change the game. Now, it became a social media phenomenon, but I did not think it was going to motivate social justice. Because your friends over at Chick-fil-A may be feeling some heat, feeling some pressure from another competitor, will no longer donate to anti-LGBTQ organizations. Chick-fil-A is making major changes to its charitable foundation, ending donations to 2 organizations that have been criticized for being anti-LGBTQ. The fast food chain announced Monday that beginning next year, it will only donate to a certain group of charities. That list no longer includes the Salvation Army and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Both organizations have taken controversial stands on homosexuality and same-sex marriage. I'll be honest with you. I did not know that. I didn't know Salvation Army and FCA had taken those approaches.
Oh, you weren't aware of that.
I have donated.
Salvation
obviously, to
Army
the
is a church. I mean,
Yeah, I've donated to the
FCA.
Salvation Army and in Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Our brother was a part of that in high school. So this is interesting.
FCA feels like it would be that would be something that Adam Devine's character on The Righteous Gemstones would head up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we hate gay dudes. Oh, hey.
In 2018, the Chick-fil-A Foundation donated $1.6 million to the FCA and $115,000 to the Salvation Army. The FCA writes in its employee application that neither homosexual sex outside of marriage nor any homosexual act constitute an alternative lifestyle acceptable to God. It also states on its website that marriage is exclusively the union of one man and one woman. FCA did not respond to CNN business requests for comment. This is interesting. I didn't realize FCA had taken that approach.
Yeah.
I was not aware of this. Now, the Salvation Army has said in the past that the Bible forbids sexual intimacy between members of the same sex, that gay Christians should embrace celibacy, and that Scripture does not support same-sex marriages, according to Snopes. However, the Salvation Army says its services are available to all people, and the organization strongly refutes accusations that it is anti-LGBTQ.
except that they are very pro legislation that would restrict hirings.
Oh, wow.
That would allow them to discriminate when hiring people. So that's not true. It's documented, and it's not only in this country; it's in other countries as well.
Now,
Isn't that so curious? Like, have you guys perused that book before? You read the Bible? There's a lot of things it says not to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like,
a lot
why
of
do we
things
have
we
to key
do.
on that?
well,
Like,
so
it's probably like illegal to like build a fence if the sun's facing a certain way. Like,
might be.
seriously.
What if it is?
I guarantee you there's something along those lines. If you're supposed to send your woman to a cave when she's on her
What if
period, there's got to be more.
What if it's like that, and then Trump builds his wall, and then we realize that? What will the evangelicals do?
They'll find a way to skirt it. Like, oh, that's the bad part of the Bible. That's the Jewish part.
the Georgia-based company is increasingly expanding into more liberal areas. It recently opened restaurants in New York City. Since it privately held sales figures aren't public, but recent research says Chick-fil-A has generated over $9 billion in sales.
Let's be honest. Recent research is going to tell us if we saw it. Popeyes has been doing business.
And business is good.
Now, their good business might be impacting Chick-fil-A, right?
I think,
Or they just see a bunch of areas that they weren't so sure would succeed.
Right. Hey, where can we make some money right now? Is what they're thinking.
I think,
Okay,
yeah,
right?
I think if
So
anything,
maybe if we do something like this, now I'll believe it when I see it
Sure.
with them.
yeah,
I think that's fair.
yeah.
Because I think what they do is normally it's a yearly basis. You decide which charities you're going to donate
Right.
to. So, okay, well, if this is what you're going to be this year, we'll see. Let's see if you continue that as well, or do you try and get sly and everything dies down a little bit.
Right.
Plus, how is your chicken going to taste as good without the hate?
Oh boy, here we go.
That's a
That's
secret
my
ingredient.
concern
his
for
big-
them.
That was his biggest question. Let's be honest.
Without hate, how is it going to taste
He
good?
does make some points. There is
Because
some point
how
to
much?
it.
I mean, how much of their chicken, if that secret recipe is hate?
It's a lot of it.
Yeah,
it's-
50% at least, right?
I would say 75.
70. Okay, if you're going that high, then how is it going to taste? What if it starts
I
not
can taste
tasting
the
as
Jim
good?
Crow.
You're just like, pickle doesn't even do it anymore. The pickle doesn't even set off the flavors.
Now,
The pickle set off the hate.
I think, if anything, the rise of Popeye's chicken sandwich with the
Popeyes.
attention that is received, people are looking for that wedge issue since the question has been
Potato
Chick-fil-A
wedges?
versus Popeyes. Damn, that sounds good, you ass.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact is, they were look. If you're trying to say why choose one or the other, social media has shown us that one has been has a history of being anti-LGBTQ, the other not so much. And so folks are
Now the
now,
clientele might.
now that's a whole nother question.
that's
But
different.
But it did expose maybe a weak point for Chick-fil-A. So this is Chick-fil-A maybe trying to close that gap. So that way, when it comes down to choosing between Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, you can just say, all right, Chick-fil-A, they stopped donating to hateful groups, and their food is good, and they have better customer service. And so they're trying to win the war. But this is all because Popeyes, a sandwich is changing the way we treat each other in this country.
It also pissed some people off.
Yeah, it's doing that too.
Ben Shapiro.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
He tweeted out, Chick-fil-A has survived and thrived because they served everyone and refused to cater to the cancel culture. Now they've caved at the behest of the censorious left.
Ooh, that's a good word.
This is a terrible move and just the latest indicator that the center cannot hold. Now the next part is where I literally laughed out loud when I was reading it. A country in which we only eat at restaurants where we agree with the owner's politics, when the owner's politics does not affect anything happening inside the restaurant, is a country that cannot survive as a unified entity.
That is the look, and I've said this before. I think he is the conservatives' version of a person who they think is smart. But that is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my
so
entire life.
serious.
That is, oh my god, oh my god.
I laughed so hard at it. I'm like, I laughed at how serious the tone was with it because I was like, number one, you're not right, but number two, you really believe it. Like you really, and I could not stop. Like I always thought their downfall, and I had commented on this, that if it was going to be something like this, it would be that they opened on Sundays.
That would be, I think,
Like imagine if they opened on Sundays, what people would do.
I think that has to be the
large
next
Do you
step.
think this was their balance? Like,
I think
okay,
it
what do
was.
we do? Do we not donate to gay, was it LGBTQ charities that don't support them, or do we open on Sundays? It's one or the other. And they decided they weren't going to open on Sundays, and they were just going to try this at first. Now, if this doesn't work, you're left with nothing but opening on Sundays.
I think they'll figure it out.
Maybe,
They seem to be doing okay.
just because they're efficient
Yeah.
and they make a decent sandwich. Milkshake as well, I will say.
I don't know if I've ever had a milkshake from there.
It's been a while. I had stopped going
It's been
there.
like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I've gone elsewhere.
Okay, got it.
You know, it'd be some baller shit if you was able to open up a Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. If you were just able to, like, I'm going to Chick-fil-A. I'm like, dude, it's fucking Sunday. You can't go. I was like,
Fuck you, I'm going.
I'm going. I'm a billionaire. I can go do it. And they open. Like, that's got to be some baller shit, right?
Yeah, I think it's a big power
Like,
move.
that's a move. Like, damn, dog, where y'all going? Chick-fil-A, dude. It's 12 a.m. It's 12 on a Sunday, dude. They're not open.
It's something Ari would have done for Vince and the boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
The one
Yo,
on-
E, Chick-fil-A open on a Sunday. Oh, Ari loves his boys. Let's hug it out, bitch.
And then
In
whatever,
a Chick-fil-A.
and then whatever like weird athlete, like Horace Grant would be in there because somebody in the actual show owed
Oh, you're
his agent
silly,
a favor.
Robert Ory.
Yeah.
Why is Robert Ory
Hey.
doing a cameo on Entourage?
And then, Hey, Vince, what's your favorite sandwich? You can't act. Why did you put him in this?
Why
All
is
right.
Jim
My
Edmonds
pleasure.
hanging out with LeBron
I'll show
James?
you your pleasure.
That's a 10-year gap in age. They shouldn't even be friends. Why is LeBron and Jim Edmonds hanging out? That doesn't even make sense. LeBron's 19, Jim Edmonds 34. What? Why would they be on a flight to Paris together? That's so
romantic.
random.
It's
Who was-
romantic.
were they together? Was it LeBron? I thought
It's
it was
like LeBron and
Jim
Jim
Edmonds?
Edmonds, and because it was like, oh, that's crazy. It's LeBron and Jim Edmonds.
Jimmy Ballgame and
Why
Entourage?
is Jim Edmonds hanging out in LeBron's entourage and they're going to France?
Somebody's manager or something they shared.
I would say one more thing to Ben Shapiro when he talked about it not being unified at the end there. I would be more concerned that businesses are allowed not to serve people based on if they're lesbian, gay, or whatnot, than someone choosing simply not to
Don't
eat somewhere because of someone's political affiliation or what they're doing. I would be more concerned that businesses use their religion to allow themselves not to serve people. I would think that would be more relevant than actually what's
but
happening
that's
here.
Shapiro. That's Rogan's boy. So what are you gonna do?
Certainly isn't you, dickhead. I have another one.
Don't give him what he wants.
I have one other designation that they could do. Chick-fil-A could file for religious exemption and become a non-taxable entity.
Like an
That's
actual
their
church,
other
a
ascension.
church that serves a chicken.
Church of chicken.
That's church
Yeah.
of chicken. That's all.
You
we
know
do.
what?
We just happen to sell food.
Scientology's a
They
commercial
can't call
real estate
themselves
company.
then churches, Susan, for saying, well, hey,
Oh.
we're church's chicken.
We'll break this down after
Oh
the-
my
this is-
God!
this
Yeah,
is-
actually, I would love that because then it might, the lawsuits that would ensue, maybe it breaks down tax exemptions all over the place for all the. Oh, chaos!
If
it
you're looking
is.
for chaos
Thee is my love.
at 8:30 tonight, Gastro Pit on the Hill. Stop by Shaw and Kings Highway. We've got a great evening lineup.
Get those laugh lungs ready, baby.
Scott James, Matt Wayman, and Adam Thacker. Stop by, guys. 8:30. Plus, guys, there's a late night barbecue happy hour. Gardner ate everything on the menu last week.
Not everything.
Stop
I
by.
enjoyed myself.
Comedy on the Hill tonight, 8:30 p.m. Stop by. We'll take a quick break. Be right back. Welcome back to the show. Chris Denman, Travis Terrell. We're live on YouTube streaming. Maybe we're on somebody's smart screen in their man cave.
That'd be weird.
Why?
I'm doing it on your big screen. I'm humping your big screen. Humping the screen.
Great first hour. If you missed it, more of that to come this hour. We want to thank St. Louis Counseling Services for working with us. They've got a great podcast. We need it. stlouiscounseling.org. They've got all their podcasts up on the website. You can check it out there. You can also see their functions and capabilities for helping people in the St. Louis area. stlouiscounseling.org. Check it out online today. Gardner, you were jonesing for some chatter.
Yeah.
Or some topics. What do you got?
There's a couple things here. First off, there's a video that was making the rounds on the Twitter sphere, but it's a TikTok video, which I'm not familiar with TikTok.
Kesha sang about it.
Tick-tock on the clock and my vagina pops. Can't stop. Popped up.
It's
Is that how it goes?
It's short
that's how
music
I went.
confused videos.
Oh, was Kesha singing about TikTok the app?
10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. Before it all happened. That's why she a G.
I don't know when the thing started. Even,
It started
so
like
I'm
literally 10 seconds ago.
Okay.
Like TikTok is
Right.
very, very now.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I am
Big with
ignorant.
like 10-year-olds,
Huge-
but
huge
now
with
has
10-year-olds.
crept into regular society.
No, Stacey Static's little daughter.
Yeah.
We were on the TikTok and she's what 9, 10.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I saw that she had showed me a video.
Yeah,
made.
she makes her own TikTok video, which I've always wondered how they were made. So to see how it was really
So
really
you
cool.
were learning
I was learning
from a 9-year-old.
from the youth.
That's about right.
Yeah.
So there's this video that's been making the rounds now on Twitter. That
Okay.
people seem to be getting a good laugh at, but
Okay.
I just kind of think it's rude.
Okay. Let's see what we
So
have
I'm going to
here.
show you this video.
Okay.
All right, so this guy just runs around the corner
Oh, he must
on a
be being
busy
chased.
street, like he's being chased, and he sets it up for a dinosaur
What?
to come around the corner and scare people.
Oh,
Look at
that's
this kid.
hilarious.
He goes down.
Oh, he'd be getting eaten. Oh,
This guy's
no.
in a
Oh,
wheelchair.
my God, but look how quickly he turns
no.
around though. Oh, poor lady. There she goes.
This is the one that gets me.
Oh
This
no!
guy's got his lunch.
Oh.
Oh, and his umbrella. Oh, and he works at a hospital too, so he's gonna have to need. Oh no!
Everyone's getting a good laugh at that, but that last one in particular, the guy, he's probably on the go. What if he's got to be at work, so he's eating his lunch while he's going, and he drops his lunch? Even if you tried
They
to
just
buy
had to
him
push
lunch.
surgery back. That was a surgeon.
Yeah. I mean, what the hell?
My thing is, I guess enough of you haven't had your asses beat because, Lord, that better be somebody that can swing in that dinosaur outfit or has a bulletproof vest on. Like, you don't know who you're going to run up on. That ain't flying in St.
Yeah.
Louis. I don't know if that looks
Try
like
that on
New
the
York or
bus.
something. I don't know.
Look
Try
like New
that
York.
on the bus.
I don't know,
like
man.
a part
People
of
don't
New
even
York.
honk their horns a lot of times in St. Louis for fear of getting shot at. Like, I think you do that on certain corners, you're going to be prepared to, interesting.
I
Now, I'm going to
feel-
beat the shit out of the guy in the dinosaur.
I feel bad for the guy at the end, just because, like, I'm looking at him, like, he's probably thinking, okay, what's going on here? What is this guy okay? Should I, involve myself in the situation?
Doesn't look like America. Is this in America?
I don't even know.
The sidewalks look just very well put together, so I don't think it's
Not
New
enough
York.
trash.
Yeah, no, it's look kind of too clean, but it looks like a city area.
Yeah.
So, man, the
Yeah.
only place I can think of is somewhere in Europe or Denver.
Right there.
That's a barber
There
pole.
goes
That's
the
a barber
lunch.
pole, but I'm saying like it has an urban look to it. But I'm looking at the bus signs. Look, the bus signs all
That's a
nice
Delmar
and clean.
Loop. What are you talking about?
Sidewalk
I see-
all nice and paved and
Look at you.
nice little
I see
bricks.
Scott Bakula's star.
Look at that, and then you know what's messed up? The dinosaur just staring at him like,
This
I got you.
man didn't even help him.
I got your
You
black
just
ass.
knocked his food
Nah, I hope
down.
they pay for that man's food.
Yeah, the thing is, like, even if you tried that after the fact, what if he had to be somewhere?
Yeah, that's true.
That's not respecting
So
other
now
people's
he
time.
done fucked up his ACL.
Definitely not respecting their space.
Chris is right. Somebody's missing a surgery because now his ACL fucked up and he hungry.
Oh. So I just
Can't operate when your blood sugar's low.
I know for a fact. That's why I don't operate.
Your blood sugar's always low.
Mm-hmm.
What's in that?
That's why I never became a doctor.
that was the reason why.
That was the reason. I
Yeah.
was like on my way to becoming Doogie Howser, and then blood sugar too
What
low.
do you know about the medical field?
I know that
Good question.
that the human body can endure a lot.
You do know that?
I do know that.
Is that from personal experience?
That is from
It can
my
endure
medical knowledge.
Wendy's burgers 3 times a week. It can do that.
You don't have to get fucking personal about it, bro. That
No.
wasn't necessary.
I didn't know that's what I was
I didn't
doing.
realize that you were being very rude and personal there. I don't stop you from your eatings.
No,
And your
I'm not
eatings
trying
look
to stop
lovely.
you.
I'm just saying you're shaming me. You
I'm-
ain't got to shame me like that.
I got a burger date today
Oh, what?
with a couple friends. Bob Ramsey and Brendan Weesey.
Oh, my.
We're meeting at High Point for some burgers.
Oh, nice.
Heard Bob on the radio last night.
Is he yelling at any officials?
Not this time.
Okay. He's pretty good at that.
He's the best.
I've seen him do that on broadcast, and I've seen him do that in person as his bench coach to a Little League team.
Are you going to? No, I know Rammer has some leanings politically. Are you going to bring up what he's thought of the hearing so far?
We'll see where the conversation goes.
Hey, you're such a chaos agent.
I'm not saying I will, but I'm just saying I mean, we'll see where the conversation goes.
Well, you definitely
We'll
should.
see if we get kicked out of High Point.
That would be out freaking standing. Bob Ramsey yelled at an old white woman yesterday.
We get kicked out. We don't talk to each other for a week. Then we have lunch again.
Yeah.
He'll block you
That's
for
how
a
it
few
goes.
days.
Yeah, it's just how it goes.
Now, I'm curious because you should read some of the transcript to Rammer in the same fashion the president read some of the transcript to reporters yesterday.
Well, not even transcript, his own personal notes. He had to keep his own
Have you
notes.
seen how big these freaking notes are? He like writes like he has to. Look how big that font is.
I write like that some.
You know
I
what?
write in block letters, and
For a racist asshole, it's good handwriting.
I mean, it's fine.
That's not bad
Not as
handwriting
serial
for a-
killery as me.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not chicken scratch. That's good.
I
He's
mean,
got
if-
that.
if you
That's the
s-
first time I've ever seen the president's talent.
No,
Oh, that thumbnail.
I don't want me to get me started.
that's my concern here too.
I think the president has jaundice. That's why he had to go to the hospital.
Not
the
only
other
the
day.
thumbnail, look at the hands.
And look
You
how
need
dry
some
it is.
lotion.
Get some lotion on your damn hands.
can you imagine
Ask your
being-
president?
Being grabbed by the
Okay.
with those hands.
All right.
Those cuticles are gross.
I mean, look at the creases in the hands. He needs some lotion.
Needs
I
some
have some
lotion.
with lavender and aloe that I recommend. That I use
But the
a
yellow
lot.
brownish tip concerns me. I think the president. That's why he had to go to the hospital on
to the
the
doctor.
other day. Yeah, I think the president. I think this impeachment is getting to his ass.
Yeah, the hand. I mean, they make fun of the small hands, but it's also, hey, let's get some lotion on there. Let's take care of those cuticles.
Also, under that piece of paper, is that his tweet? Did he print out his tweet?
Yeah.
He printed out his tweet. What kind of sociopathic shit is this? He printed out his tweet? Holy hell, I'm just realizing that. Oh.
Who
Oh.
gets to do that?
Oh, come on. I've never seen that. No one who prints out their actual tweets. That is I didn't even know there was a print feature. Oh, that's even worse than what says on. And why does the Air Force One have his own station hand? Are we paying for that?
I think so.
We
Of
pay for
course
that?
We have. Well, should we
The
get
board Air Force One?
What do you want, Elliot Davis to confront him?
Yeah, let's see Elliot go after that one. Who gets that contract? Who gets to do the station hand padding for the Air Force One?
Maybe Sean's dad used to. He was a paper man.
He printed out his tweets. Come
I'm
on.
sure there's a reason.
His own tweets? That
Yeah.
he could literally look down at his phone at?
Well,
He
you
printed
can't
them
pull
out?
Can't pull your phone out.
Let's keep him off his phone.
That's a good point.
Maybe it's better. Maybe it's they were. Hey, let's.
I'm
It's better
live
this
streaming.
way.
That's so weird.
It's less distracting. It's, here's how to try and keep him focused some and narrow it down. But even then, like, hey, if you saw my handwriting in my notebook, you might report me to the authorities.
Yeah,
But
same
it's-
here. How are the listeners' handwriting? I'm asking.
Oh, their handwriting? Well, it's just like in how I keep notes, too. I have a system of symbols as well, and
Like
there's a process, like I said.
And
There's
my
processes.
handwriting sucks. I'll let you know that out the gate. But like Chris's handwriting is scary.
It's Kaczynski-esque.
It's very, cause like I'm like, man, are you writing manifestos? What
Do
are
you
you
write
doing
in
with your day?
cursive or do you write
Man.
If I wrote in cursive, it would be better. Yeah, the print is just like
Oh
it's
God.
I print and I do block lettering still with printing. So I
Chris's handwriting makes me think he has people in his basement.
really.
There's no
I have to
doubt.
get a look
He
at
makes
this.
me think that
They
in
could
his
leave
large
if they
freezer in
worked
his
a little harder.
basement, there's like chopped up body parts. That's what his handwriting tells me.
We should take what we'll do is
Zodiac killer.
we'll take what the president wrote, and then
Okay.
maybe after the show we'll do our own examples of how we write with our handwriting.
But
We
I
can show
will
it
say, I
tomorrow.
think for the first, in the first 4 years, I finally see what he is good at, and that is handwriting. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's fine. It's confusing though a little bit. Like he goes with the lowercase I, while everything else is capitalized on that nothing. I don't understand.
I'm happy that the
I in quid.
I'm glad. I'm glad that's not capitalized. I think that would have been creepier.
I think it should be if you're going capitalization with everything else.
all the I's are lowercase. Huh.
What does
Yeah,
that say about his psyche?
No,
that
not
he thinks
all
the
of them, obviously,
eyes.
That's the thing is that
It's
there's
lowercase.
not consistency there.
Oh, you're right. Because in final he doesn't have.
All right.
Well, final he does have it dotted, but with I
Oh, I see it,
itself is
okay.
capitalized. But then like on the word nothing, the N's capitalized, the O, the T, the H, the N, the G, but the I isn't. That doesn't make any sense.
No, there's a lot about what he is.
Still more
written
concerned
there
about the hands.
That is very questionable. I think that's literally, he
That
just
is
told himself why he
dry.
was at the hospital. We now know why.
I mean, imagine that just.
But he
rubbing-
said this
sh-
is the
like
final
shaking
word.
That hand even.
The final word of the president of the U.S.
Yeah. What did he say? I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. Tell Zelensky to do the right thing. This is the final word from the president of the U.S. Okay. I thought, Travis, we could have a little fun with it.
Okay.
Because I saw someone on Twitter said, this is now going to be my audition script. And they'd read it dramatically. I want you to read this
Okay.
as Charles S. Dutton
Oh boy.
from Rudy.
Okay.
I have two people in mind I'd like you to read this as.
Okay.
So number one, Charles S. Dutton from Rudy. Now, do you have the script in
I
front of
do.
you?
I do.
Okay.
Director. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go to your camera.
Okay.
And I want you to give me a dramatic reading as Charles S. Dutton from Rudy reading the president's memo to himself from yesterday.
Let me get it to sing. Thank you. Look at the character. I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. Tell Zelensky to do the right thing. This is the final word of the president of the U.S. And sing.
I thought that was terrible.
Thank you.
You
What?
didn't even give me a.
Okay. Okay.
You got to go remember Charles S. Dutton, he goes into that whisper at times.
Okay. Gotta get the
So you got to go up and down with it, and then
Okay.
Treat it like the dope
Here,
dealers
think
moved in
of
on your
this.
block and the show is rock.
Okay.
think of this: you're 5'0" nothing,
Okay.
100 and nothing, and you hung out with the best college football team in the land for 2 years. If you ain't proved nothing to yourself by now, you ain't never gonna do it. Something I'm paraphrasing. I'm trying to remember that speech there. Remember, channel that part
Okay.
of Charles S. Dutton from Rudy.
I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. Tell Zelensky to do the right thing. This is the final word of the President of the United States.
Much better. Oh, nice.
Good for
Actually,
you. Memeable.
when the way you said President of the United States, that was very good at the end.
Okay, thank you.
Because the way you said that, I heard Dutton in your
Okay,
voice there.
all right, thank you.
Now, there was one other one I wanted you to try with
Okay,
this.
all right.
Think Will Smith in the movie Concussion.
Okay, ooh, accent time. Yes.
Okay, so this should go well.
Okay.
Tell the truth.
Hold on. Here we go. You ready?
I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo.
It's good.
Tell Zelensky
Oh no,
to do the right thing.
we're off the rails.
This is the final word of the President of the United States. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know what that accent was.
I tried to keep it
You
across
might have
the
offended
pond.
like 5 different groups
Yeah,
of people.
I think I did, but it's not specifically the country I was
No, it
attempting to do
wasn't.
the accent
No,
for.
it was not at
Somehow
all.
I avoided that country, but I hit the other ones in the process.
Uh huh. Oh, no. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, that was. You're welcome.
Nice effort, though.
Do you want? I got Obama.
Oh,
I
okay.
have
You
an
want to do
Oh,
Obama?
boy.
Okay, hold on. Let's try Obama with this.
Let me be clear.
Let me be clear. I want nothing. I want nothing.
This is rough, Obama.
I want no quid pro quo because Michelle told me not to. Tell Zelensky to do the right thing.
Oh, you slip back to
This is the final word of the President of the United States.
no.
Tell the truth.
No.
Tell the truth.
No.
Awkwardly enough, this is like almost like
Is that
you're
not a...
No, that wasn't
saying
right.
the
Obama's
presidents from Africa,
Yeah.
which was a thing.
That is...
What? Yeah.
okay,
What did you
maybe I
just
got-
tell us? Did
I
you
just...
did you slip up? Oh my God.
This is a rough one.
Sorry, guys. I tried.
Well, I appreciate the effort.
It was there.
Your Obama is not good.
It's not. I can't tell you why it isn't.
I think you've had plenty of time to work on it.
You're right.
I'd say
I've had
now,
about...
now is the maybe some would argue the worst time to have a good Obama impression. Maybe you could even say the time's passed.
Yeah. Yours was obviously never there.
I
I thought you would have had it at some
I
point.
did as
Right.
well. I think I did well on the Michelle, though.
Now, see,
Yeah.
we drone strike every 2 seconds. Let me be clear. They were mostly civilians.
Oh boy.
Oh, sorry.
He couldn't have
that
been that bad. He hasn't ended up on Rogan's show yet.
He did Marin
I did.
in the garage,
I
the
like
old
Marin, though.
garage.
I like Marin. I'm a Marin
You
guy.
think you like Marin? You've never even listened to the
Oh,
show.
yeah, man. I like Marin as a person.
You like Marin because his identity, the politics you assume he has.
No, he was good in Glow.
What's
on
Glow?
Netflix. It's a TV show on Netflix. He's a part of.
What
Mark
is
Maron.
Glow?
Gorgeous ladies of wrestling. It's like period. It was like 70s, 80s. It was like it's based off of a women's professional wrestling.
Oh,
The
that's
League.
very
interesting.
lovely
He's like
Allison
this-
Brie.
he's
is
the skeezy manager.
Is the star.
Really?
Allison Brie, very lovely.
I'm a fan of hers.
I'm a big fan of hers.
Did you get a little perched there, Guardsy?
She's a
Just said
delightful
I'm a fan of
character.
hers.
She deserves more. Like obviously, Glow. She's been doing that over the last few years, but she's an actress that I would not have a problem seeing more of. I think she's very funny, very charming.
You're
I
hoping
do
for like
her.
another fappening? Like that
No,
kinda
no,
scene
like
more?
that. No, I'm talking about her as a talent. You
Oh, okay. Never know with you.
ass hats.
What'd you call me an ass hat for?
She is a very lovely lady. She's a very beautiful looking woman. But I'm also just pointing out that she's also a very,
Yeah.
very, very talented actress.
Seems
There you
like
have
And she's very funny. Also, she does one of the voices on BoJack Horseman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've always enjoyed her late night interviews.
she does.
when
Yeah,
I've seen 'em.
she's really she's. I think her work from Community has turned her into she's very. I would like to see her in more comedies. She's very
Yeah.
and she's done serious stuff too. She was in Mad Men.
Yes. I've only seen still shots of her in Mad Men.
She's
I never
very
really
funny.
watched Mad Men.
Yeah, it's Mad Men. The first few seasons, she's kind of like your pent up, 50s housewife.
Oh, okay.
But over throughout the really cool thing, you see her find her independence because she's very into the submissive housewife. I'm supposed to be at home, support her husband. But as she realizes how much more her husband's an idiot, she begins to become more empowered.
Who's she married to on that show?
Gosh, I forgot the character.
Is it a significant character?
It is a significant
Okay.
character. It's a guy who is the real big douche throughout the series, like the early part of the series.
Okay.
I forget the actor's name. He's been in a bunch of things.
Is he a
but-
younger guy?
Yeah.
Kind of shorter, maybe?
Yeah.
I know I can picture who you're
I
saying.
know. I really am sorry. I don't know his name, but he's really talented and he's good in
Okay.
that. But his character is a jerk in Mad Men for the first couple seasons, and she becomes more empowered and more like, oh, men ain't shit.
Uh-huh.
So
Just like that.
yeah, I love Allison Brie. That's all I'm saying in short.
Okay. That's fair.
I know you guys don't follow the NBA, and I understand why.
I don't mind a good
It's
dust up here
good-looking
and
black
there, though.
men who are athletic that's likely to take your women. Completely understand why you wouldn't watch it. However, the NBA has.
They're not all good looking.
Have you seen Joel Embiid? He is. Whew, man, that's a hottie.
Well, that's my boy.
But the NBA has, for whatever reason, attracted these crazy, off the court stories. Like
For whatever reason.
like Donahue.
Come on.
Donaghy, that's a story that's just, oh wow, that's insane. And then of course, there's just a whole host of issues like that take place off the court that is just
Like Delonte West and LeBron James' mom.
yeah, that was
They
uncomfortable
attracted
for
'cause
everybody.
they want it.
You got Tristan Thompson literally in the middle of the playoffs cheating on his incredibly popular wife, Khloe Kardashian.
Yeah, you have the Kardashians in the league. What do you think's going to happen?
But it's a fascinating league from a story point. It's really fun to follow, even if you don't follow the day to day. And one story I think you gentlemen would enjoy is a story about how an NBA executive, Jeff David of the Sacramento Kings, stole $13 million from the organization.
How much?
$13 million, 13.4 to be exact. So this guy was responsible he was the director of sales and sponsorship for the Sacramento Kings. And his job was, of course, to secure, the banners you see around the arena, the sponsorship for the team, for events, for quarters and halftime shows and things like that. That was his responsibility, and he was pretty good at it. And at the time, they were getting set to build a brand new stadium and a brand new practice facility, brand new arena. And so,
It's like the time I called Matheny the coach of the Cardinals.
Manager.
That text line lit up. Oh,
Skipper.
People, I've never felt wrath like sports fans that I didn't know listen to our show.
Felt that but this guy had a really outstanding responsibility of securing the naming rights for the new arena and the new practice facility. And so Sacramento, as you know, they were threatening to leave the city. They kind of were pulling a Rams situation where they were like, I don't know, man, if I can't get some additional financing, it's just going to be very difficult to keep the
what
Kings.
they did in Oklahoma City.
And
Yeah.
so
Was Kevin Johnson the mayor at the time?
Yeah,
Oh,
buddy.
God.
Yeah, it's a lot of, again, the NBA and its storylines. But so they were able, of course, they ended up staying in Sacramento. And because of that, the city had gone out of their way to show why we want to keep the Kings. So the Kings saw it as a very lucrative opportunity. This guy saw it as a lucrative opportunity to go back into the community and get some of that money for future sponsorship.
Normal
and he
stuff.
did. He went out and got these huge deals with these major conglomerates inside the Sacramento area, one being a healthcare company. And all looked good. Like, oh, damn, this dude out here killing it. He's getting these huge sponsors. We got our practice facility good. We got a brand new naming rights for the stadium. However, those invoices weren't going directly to the Sacramento Kings. They were going to an LLC that Jeff David set up on his own. And so when it was time for these companies to make their allotted payments for their sponsorship, yeah, the sides and stuff would be up, but he would say one price to the Kings ownership while still negotiating behind what he's telling them and getting more money. So that difference was going then into his own pockets.
Ooh.
That's all, like, I'm sure it happens where people get away with it, but I feel like you always are going to, like, always, there's going to be a comeback.
To the tune of $13 million?
13 million, because you got to remember, he
You
literally,
can't pay
he
that
took the
back.
naming rights deal. He took the naming rights deal. Just imagine what Enterprise is currently paying. So they took that, he's basically taking that money that Enterprise is supposed to be writing and putting it into his own checking account.
Right.
Now he's given
So-
full autonomy to negotiate everything. So there weren't anything necessarily in place.
So
where
no
they were looking-
oversight.
no complete oversight.
Like
at
you wouldn't
least
know it until you ran an audit or something.
until you ran
like
an
that.
audit. And again, they
It's
had
not
they
that
were getting
common.
some of they were getting their payments. They just weren't getting what was ultimately negotiated. So it wasn't
So
as if
it's-
somebody was like, "Oh man, we need that money from this company that says they're going to pay their bill on time." He knew that, of course, someone would have
I don't
picked up
know
the
how that
phone and
would
called
work.
then. But essentially, he did it he was able to pay a little bit back, so no one would ask enough questions to be like, "Hey, we're missing a check."
So what are we looking at?
So we're looking at a
Prison time
situation here where the guy his basically his own demise is his own success. So because he was able to successfully negotiate these deals with the Sacramento Kings, he got a job offer for the Miami Heat. So when he was leaving out the door and it was basically, trying to set up the next person to take his position, you try to have papers set up and a process so everything, continues to flow once that person leaves. Well, when they decided to go back and look at that paperwork, the lady in HR started noticing some odd discrepancies. And so she was like, she noticed the file that he had left behind on his computer that read TurboTax. And she pulled it up, and in there was a file about a home in Santa Monica. So he was basically where he was using those funds to pay for a brand new house in Santa Monica. And so her first thought was, well, why would a healthcare company send money through this guy to pay for a house in Santa Monica? It's like, why are they associated? Why are they being connected with this? So she did a natural audit, worked backwards, called the healthcare people, and they said, well, yeah, we've been sending our checks to you guys to this LLC. And they're like, that LLC is none of our vendors. We don't have a vendor under that LLC. So that's when they started to work backwards. They called in the FBI. They basically had the FBI go over there and interview this guy, where they didn't tell him that they were obviously looking into his shit. They thought he made it sound as if they were looking into the healthcare provider. So he would become more forthcoming.
Yeah.
And so once he was able to become more forthcoming, he gave up more information, sort of told on himself. And then the wife went to go try to use their debit card, and it declined. And she called the bank, and the bank's telling her, well, it's been frozen. So they used another account that's been frozen as well. And this was after the interview with the FBI. And so the wife comes to the husband like, yo, all right, I ain't an idiot. The FBI shows up one day, this morning, and then this afternoon when I go use the debit card, our account's frozen. What the hell is going on, and what was that really all about? And so he ultimately confesses to his wife, and she almost has a breakdown. Like, she is, fortunately, I think at the time they were moving. Like I said, he got the promotion with the Miami Heat. His in-laws were there. So this is all happening while his in-laws are there.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the in-laws are present while the FBI is there. And he's confessing what he's done. And she, like, almost has a breakdown, like oh, the vapors type of breakdown. And she's silent, like, as he's trying to explain away what's going on. And even the in-laws are like, no, the FBI has it wrong. They're not. It's got to be something else. The wife literally, after almost an hour of silence, goes, you're going to jail. All this is moot. Like, you're talking all this potential conspiracy theories, or it could be this, it could be that. What you just told me, that's a crime. You're going to jail. You just ruined us. So now, long story short, which obviously I didn't make it short, but he's now serving 6 years in prison. When it comes to the family situation, I think they're still together, but from the sounds of it, it's still touch and go. The Sacramento Kings were able to, I think, recoup most of it, and I think he has to pay restitution on the rest. In his head, he thought that if he told them that he would pay back that restitution, that would be enough. But obviously, the FBI is like, bro, you just committed a major fraud. Yeah. No, we're not. No, this is tax evasion. This is everything. You're not going to be able to just pay it back and be good. And so, yeah, he's doing 6 years. Kings are good. They kind of got, hit. A lot of people in NBA circles have said that the culture in Sacramento has been fast and loose, so they weren't necessarily surprised that this was taking place. But it was just such a...
That's still... I mean, I'd be surprised that it got to that level, though. That much money is... That's a lot to take.
But think about it. He was getting away with, like, if he technically didn't take the job with the Heat...
If he just would have stayed put...
He would have stayed put.
If you stayed put to make sure that you covered your tracks... once you were leaving, then you lost control of that.
She doesn't get that file. She's not able to connect the dots. Because that file ultimately opened it up for her to start doing some digging. But if she doesn't have that TurboTax file that was on his computer, then it's very likely that he's still doing this today.
Now, I do wonder, greed obviously being a motivating factor here, but what else went into try to make
we talked about this, yes.
The why, I guess.
Yes.
You say greed right there, number one, right?
Because you think an executive in the NBA.
But to me, there's got to be more than just greed,
right?
To go for it
that big, to go that big,
big of a score.
Exactly, that's a huge score.
So I just wonder what else, what are the underlying factors, I guess,
And we discussed
that
this.
motivate the greed? Because it can't just, there has to be other things involved
Right.
to me. Like, it just doesn't make sense without that. And it might seem small to some people, but that's how you get to the bigger
Right,
part of it,
right.
because there are underlying things that tell part of the story. I wonder what those are. I don't know what those
He
are.
talked a little bit about the rush. He talked about how he was good at his job. He said but he got to a point where the journalist who wrote the story alluded to how, despite having a very nice salary, he was making upwards to 350 plus on top of commissions on the sales from his sponsorship. So he could have been making about $500,000 a year, and just simply that, in the world that he was living in, with where the sixth man on the bench for the Kings is making $8 million a year, and you got a CEO that's worth these billions of dollars, and these owners and these bigwigs in Silicon Valley who come to these games. They essentially said he felt like a small fish in a big pond. He's seen everybody out here being flashy. They talk about how folks were driving up to the games in Bentleys, like these bigwigs, and they felt like in that world he felt he had to also show that he can run with the big dogs, and in doing so, that's why he was so strong in his pursuit of making this fraud happen. But to Gardner's point, I was wondering the why, because like I said, it couldn't have been specifically money, because yeah, I know it's definitely, cost of living in Northern California is higher than most, but a salary of 350 plus and bonuses is pretty solid day's work. And so you would think you could live fairly comfortably off of that and be happy and have a nice family and maybe even have some side businesses. But with this guy, apparently that wasn't enough, and he loved the juice. He wanted the action, and yeah, why at some point, I'm not saying that the family around them are culpable, but I will give the wife credit. At least she comes off as, something's not totally adding up, but my husband is good at his job, and people around him respect and like him, so I had no reason to immediately think that he's doing something behind our backs, despite us living in like $8 million homes. But
That's insane how that happens. Skyrockets.
it's crazy. It's just one of the weirdest. I guess I'm just surprised that at that level there's so much autonomy. I mean, I guess I can't say
But
I'm
maybe
surprised.
it's this particular organization, though, too,
Yeah, it's
like
true.
you had said.
True. Very true.
You had mentioned what other execs and other people around the league had said about the Kings
Yeah.
in particular, and how their front office was being run.
Man, that's fast. That is really fast and loose, man.
Yeah.
That is I like, you're right. I think what everybody has said about the Kings is very much probably true. That is still like, man.
I'm going to ask my little brother about this, because this is like what my little brother does.
Yeah.
And he works, I'm not going to say who, but he is employed by several owners of professional sports franchises throughout North America, where he conducts audits. And it's not necessarily even within their, because a lot of these people have other companies.
Right.
So it's just like he audits their other
Right,
company
right.
type deals. So I wonder I want to see what he thinks of this one, like, just to see like how his job would handle this, or what he would have done in this situation with kind of a file like that,
Right.
or what are things that tip you off when you see
Right. That was the thing I was wondering about this lady in HR, and she comes off like freaking like a superhero in this, because it's literally she's following the numbers, and she doesn't make an immediate assumption, but she said essentially in her gut.
That's weird.
Like she said in her gut, she was like, nothing made sense.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't want to believe that someone you've worked with is defrauding the company, but.
And I wonder what that's feeling like as a person too, that
good
is
point.
searching that, and you start to see that, like how that begins to feel.
Because the math is the math at the end of the
Yeah,
day, and
and
those
you're like,
people
God.
are just
And
savants
and
at
you're
it.
just like, "God, I got to be seeing this wrong. What am I missing something?
But that's the beauty about her. She's like, I know this, and as you're in that position, you know this shit. You don't
Yeah.
get to that point in any organization. You usually don't, without knowing your shit. And I think the way she said it was, she knew her math wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
She was kind of hoping that it wasn't what she saw. She was like,
Right.
she was really like,
Is there another reason why it's being done like this
Right.
that I'm not aware of?
and she was like, no, man, it's probably because I'm not looking in the right file. Let me go. But she said, like I said, like a thorough HR person, she was like, I went through every single file. And it was just a pattern after a pattern after a pattern. It's like, I can't deny what the numbers are telling
and she
me.
had to know when she makes the phone call to the healthcare company.
Yes.
And they're
That was the
explaining-
confirmation.
Yeah,
she said when the
that
confirmation,
was-
it's like, oh yeah, we paid it to this LLC.
And when
and
you
she
hear
said
that,
her heart, yeah,
you got to have a feeling like that sinking feeling of, I can't believe this is what I found.
right. And then I think again it comes back to me of going, man, he was getting away with it. He wasn't setting off red flags all over the organization. Wasn't setting off red flags with the sponsors, and so the guy was moving as he was moving, and no one was the wiser. No one.
Yeah,
Again,
you
a guy,
see
if he doesn't take a promotion, the guy is probably still racking up money.
You see it on all levels. Bernie Madoff. There you go.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think doing it in plain
crazy
sight,
stuff happens.
but doing it in plain sight. We're talking about sponsorship deals. Like, you are the guy responsible for putting the naming rights on something the entire city will see, and that will go out across the entire NBA. You negotiated that. Like, you're hiding in plain sight. That is crazy to me.
Got a listener comment. The awkward moment when you're streaming through your work computer with the window hidden, but your boss comes over to talk to you, and Travis is yelling so loud she can hear him the entire time through one working earbud, and neither of us acknowledge it and try to power through.
Jesus.
What was Travis yelling about?
Was it probably my Charles S. Dutton? It was probably my Charles S.
From the
Dutton
Black
that did
Sheep.
it. That
What do you
probably-
think of this? They could tell he was pocketing funds when the expensive-ass banners arrived and smelled like gasoline and said the Kings, spelled K-I-G in it. Kind. That's
Oh my God! That's so fun. I don't know why that's. We've talked about this. I don't know why I find these white collar crimes
Well,
to
it
be
gotta be
so.
white collar.
That's a good point. But they're so fascinating
Because
because
of starch and bleach, probably.
and I just because I always wondered what the hell does the SEC do? What the hell, like, we know what the IRS
They
can
play
do.
football, I'll tell you that much.
But I've always wondered, like, these HR people, I'm like, what excitement do you get out of your job? I would imagine for this lady, this was like Die Hard to her. This had to be like,
No, this guy was good. Now, what about the guys in, like, I'm trying to think. Think about the Tampa Bay Rays sponsorship guy. Like, this guy was, rolling in it, doing well. Like, the Rays, like, who's he bringing in? Like, is he bringing in just all payday loan places to sponsor because they don't want to work with these teams?
But it makes me wonder, and this isn't to suggest that I'm always under the assumption that whether it's professional sports franchises or businesses, I like to think they're performing or behaving above board. But when you see something like this, again, like a guy that was doing it in plain sight, I wonder if we were to pry a little bit more and a lot of that information we'll never get because it is private. But I would wonder if we looked around the corner and maybe turned a few more pages, what we could find on other sports franchises and other businesses. Because it's like I said, I can never imagine trying to pull off a fraud to this extent, this much money, while being a public figure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing that really blows my mind.
Well, I mean, we see it.
Yeah, we do. And but to that point, I still
Somebody might have a fake university that they have to pay $25 million on, or like a charity that they've misused funds for that they have to pay $2 million on.
that is fat. And
Kids with cancer, man.
it's and yeah, man, that's scary, man. That's $13 million.
Crazy.
Damn, $13 million.
I can't say I wouldn't have tried it.
Next question. Would the NBA work in St. Louis?
Considering
This type of story would.
Yeah.
but this type of corruption too. Oh, that's right up our
Yes,
alley.
yeah.
That's what we do best, baby. If you talking
come
about
on now.
if that's
It was a
only-
curious reason they set up in Fenton in the old Autoplex. The NBA. An orange ball, you say. They're here to stay.
But I bet you Dr. James Naismith never thought the invention would go this far.
From the peach basket to the prison basket. Yeah, that'll be enough of that. What a great show it's been. What else do we have going on before we get out of here?
I'm
Garza?
curious to get your thoughts on this because I know you are a hound dog. But there's
Gardner,
a
you out
bill.
on the trail.
There's a bill that aims to rename a portion of Wash Ave after supermodel and St. Louis native Carly Kloss.
Oh, whoops, wrong one. Why am I looking at her all weird there?
Because you're a weird guy.
There we go.
That would be who's she married to now?
She's married to a Kushner, my friend.
Her
she's married
agency
to
is a
Jared.
block away, by the way.
She's really? I didn't know that. She's married to Jared Kushner's younger brother.
Something like that. think
But
it
yeah,
begins with a
she's
J
Carly,
as
come
well.
home.
her in-laws are the Trumps, believe it or not. Kloss, who was discovered by a St. Louis-based modeling agency,
Mother model
is an alum of Webster Groves High School, so she probably never ever set foot on Washington Avenue ever in her entire fucking life. So why the hell would you name Wash Ave after Carly Kloss? Now, Gardner, I know you're going to be with me on this one because we talked about this in the car not too long ago about what we like to romanticize here in this country.
Oh, I was saying I wanted to take down all the Confederate monuments in Georgia and just have one of Richard Jewell in Atlanta. Which I think
I
is
didn't do it.
fair.
The Streets Traffic and Refuse Committee will discuss board bill.
The
132.
owner, there's
What-
two owners. It's a husband and wife that own that modeling agency, and the husband, I see him walking his dog every day.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
You would not think he owned a modeling
He has a
agency.
small dog.
He has a small,
Yeah.
very cute little dog, and he looks like he.
Oh, I
would
walked
crush you.
past. I didn't know that's what that company was down there.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I've walked past there.
Isn't that exciting?
Don't-
It's crazy.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I hope that. And I look, this isn't me even. Carly Kloss is dope. She's a supermodel. She's from St. Louis. Much love to her and respect to her career and the things that. And I would imagine she comes back and probably gives back to the community. I'm not taking that away from
Yeah.
her at all. I don't understand why we're naming a street after her.
Well, why not do it in Webster?
Or in Webster, yeah, do that. Why does she get Washington
All right.
Avenue? Why does she
Is
get a main drag
You'll
of the
find
downtown?
out that.
White
You'll
privilege?
find out that no. You're gonna.
It is absolutely because Kimora Lee Simmons, she created Baby Fat, and I don't see anybody putting a bill up to name a street after her. And she actually lived in the fucking city. She actually, like, come on now.
You're welcome.
She's a billionaire that created one of the biggest fashion lines in the history of this country.
Yeah.
This is-
That's
this
what I'm
is-
just saying. If
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
play the part of Sam Lyons.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah, hype this up because this is some bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Carly, baby girl, you fine.
Keep talking.
Yeah, you lost a few points by marrying a Kushner, but I can't blame what the heart wants.
Ain't no problem.
Ain't no problem at all. Now, baby girl, you probably deserve a street.
Yeah.
You may even need a school.
Uh-huh.
But how about we do it out in Webster?
Keep going.
And not use a street that you have probably never ever set foot on.
Not bad idea.
That's racist as hell. There we go.
There it
I'm
is.
sorry, Chris. You can finish.
Will you
Your
eat?
white privilege story of the day from Travis Terrell.
I could have used the King story as white privilege, but I chose not to.
That's a crime caper.
Will you eat crow when you find out that she has invested in a large development which employs those that live in the area, and that's ultimately why it's going to be named after her?
Oh, quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo.
No.
Quid pro quo. Get Sondland out here. Get Sondland out here. Quid pro quo.
Come to comedy tonight, Sophie's at 6, Gastropit
My
at
chaos!
8:30.
Gardner,
See you guys.
High five. Peace.